I had no idea of the power of the mind. I had no idea of the power of the mind to manifest and the power of the mind to sabotage us, to harm us. But I'm really clear about it now. And so those things are the greatest things that I would say for anybody. The world is different from what it appears to be with the observer effect. And, nothing comes into form unless there's a mind observing it. And they're like, you've just got to look, you've just got to change your perspective ever so slightly. We see the world is solid and us is separate. But if we just shift our perspective ever so slightly, we see something entirely different that is completely freeing. You might be really broke. Gee, I was when I was making The Secret. Money would come into my hands, it would slip through my fingers, things would break down. You might not have any money and you're trying to instill wealth and prosperity and riches. That work talks about the power of the mind and the power of thought. And that's the biggest thing, is to open yourself to the possibility that everything isn't the way it appears to be. And so even if you can just open yourself to that possibility, just for a moment, you can pick up it all the next day. You can take it all with you the next day, that it's all real and everything that you're seeing. But if you just for a moment open to the possibility that things might not be the way that you think they are, then you have the greatest opportunity to really discover something incredible. And so I really simplify it and the law of attraction, because I would say to anybody, if you would just think about what you want, that's all you'd ever get in your life. And the most extraordinary thing is this, is that the more effortless you are, the greater you manifest everything that you ever dreamt of to create our physical world and material world. And then the greatest secret takes that to a whole new level, actually. And so then you really get to see that, oh my gosh, it's super easy. Create anything I want. Like really, so easy. Because if we have a belief it's hard, then it's going to be hard, And so it has everything to do with our mind and what we believe. And so if we believe a thought, it will manifest. End of story. The mind is like a computer program, and the fact that it's on a negative loop is because we programmed it on a negative loop. But we could have been influenced when we were children and things like that. So one of the things that the mind loves repetition. Loves it. If you really watch your thoughts, this is the same old thoughts over and over again, it's just kind of dishing up the same old thing. So it loves repetition. So the way you can override a program is to put in the opposite, and when you start out, feel like you're lying, you'll say something like, you might be really broke. Gee, I was when I was making The Secret. So you might not have any money and you're trying to instill, wealth and prosperity and riches. And every time you say it, you feel a contraction in your body because you don't have it. But, truly, because I did it myself, after a while you change it. You really begin to change it. And you don't quite have that contraction anymore. And then you start to see money coming in, in different ways. Those negative thoughts are coming from beliefs held in the subconscious mind. They stem mostly from our childhood conditioning. You need to know who you are so that you don't doubt yourself, because the one that is doubting is the ego, the one that is doubting is the mind, and it's not who we are. So then you've got to become very aware of your thoughts. That one that is doubting, the negative thoughts, they're all coming from the ego, all of them, because who you are would never have a negative thought ever. Who you are would never judge. Who you are who you are is allowing and accepting. So all of those things are coming from the ego, and they are not who you are. And that voice in your head that you hear, that voice that's, so familiar,